Welcome to The Explainer, where we distill big ideas into clear, actionable insights. Today, we're cracking open the Millionaire Code to figure out why the real secret to wealth isn't some magic formula, but actually a deep understanding of, well, you.
Okay, let's start with this idea right here. We're always told there's a set path to financial success, right? Like a clear, well-worn road through the woods. But what if the real secret, as Joseph Campbell suggests, is to find the part of the forest where there is no path and just start walking?
Now, that whole idea of forging your own path, it kind of flies directly in the face of the entire financial advice industry. That industry is really built on one single fundamental myth, that there's one right way for everybody to get rich.
And because of that myth, we are just bombarded with these so-called can't-miss formulas. You see it everywhere: magazines, best-selling books, you name it. Everyone seems to have the secret. But honestly, this tidal wave of information often just leads to more confusion than clarity. You've seen these books on the shelves, haven't you? Maybe you've even read a few. They all promise a simple set of rules to follow. But here's the thing. The vast majority of people who read them, they don't actually become millionaires.
And that leads to a really important question. If we've got all this great advice so easy to find, why is it that less than 4% of Americans ever actually reach millionaire status? The info is out there, so what is the missing piece of the puzzle?
Well, the answer, as it turns out, is incredibly simple. All these formulas fail because they ignore the single most important variable in the entire equation: you. Your unique personality, how you're wired, your natural way of seeing the world.
So this brings us to the core idea of the Millionaire Code, which just completely flips the script. It argues that the path to wealth doesn't start with a budget or a stock tip. Nope, it starts with getting to know yourself.
Look, the code isn't another financial strategy to just add to the pile. Think of it more like a mirror. It's a framework built on decades of solid psychological research that's designed to help you see your own innate strengths so you can build a wealth strategy that just feels natural and, more importantly, sustainable. And this, right here, this really gets to the central promise of the whole thing. It's about stopping the struggle of trying to fit into someone else's mold. The goal is to find a path that totally aligns with who you already are, which makes the journey not just more effective, but, honestly, a whole lot more fun.
So, how do you actually crack your personal code?
Well, it all comes down to understanding your natural tendencies across 4 key areas of your personality. And this is all based on the work of Carl Jung and what later became the Myers-Briggs system. First up, where do you get your energy? Are you an extrovert, someone who gets all fired up by being around people and jumping into the action? Or are you an introvert who recharges your batteries with some quiet time and reflection?
Second, how do you process information? Are you a sensor? Do you trust what you can see, touch, and measure? The hard facts. Or are you more of an intuitive, someone who's always looking for the big picture, connecting the dots, and thinking about what's possible in the future?
Third, what guides your decisions? Are you a thinker, prioritizing cold, hard logic and objective principles? Or are you a feeler, making decisions based on your personal values, empathy, and how it's going to affect the people around you? And finally, how do you like to live your life? Are you a judger, someone who loves a good plan and an organized schedule? Or are you a perceiver, someone who thrives on spontaneity and keeping all your options open?
Okay, so when you put these 4 preferences together, your 4-letter code slots you into one of 4 big categories, or temperaments. You can think of these as powerful archetypes for understanding your own financial DNA. So check this out. We have the SJs, the Guardians. They value security and tradition. For them, wealth might look like steady saving, buying blue-chip stocks, and building a solid portfolio of rental properties. Then you have the SPs, the creators, who just thrive on freedom and action. They're way more likely to get rich by starting a business, or maybe making a risky angel investment, or mastering something like day trading. The NT masterminds are drawn to complex systems, so they might design some crazy trading algorithm or build a scalable franchise. And finally, the NF pathfinders. They're driven by purpose, so their path could be creating a mission-driven company that also happens to be super profitable. Now here's what's staggering. A whopping 80% of the population falls into just 2 of these groups, guardian or creator. And this explains so much. It's why most of the financial advice you hear is geared towards either that steady, conservative saving plan, which is perfect for guardians, or those high-risk, high-reward ventures that totally appeal to creators. And that leaves the masterminds and the pathfinders, about 20% of us, feeling like most of the advice out there just doesn't fit. Ultimately, this whole journey isn't just about getting a certain number to show up in your bank account. It's about achieving a much deeper, more authentic kind of wealth.
So here is the most crucial takeaway. Before you invest in a stock, a business, or real estate, the first and most important investment you have to make is in self-knowledge. Understanding your code is like having the compass that points you toward your own financial true north.
And this quote just captures the real prize, doesn't it? See, true financial freedom isn't about escaping work. It's about finding work and a lifestyle that perfectly line up with your deepest identity. When your financial path and your life's mission become the same thing, that's when you've truly become rich.
So instead of asking which guru has the right answer, maybe the better question is the one this all leaves us with. Now that you have the keys to your own code, what does your personal, unique, and authentic path to wealth actually look like? The map is yours to draw.